Game Up, they make a thirst-quenching adult beverage with a special blend of electrolytes. Help keep you hydrated while you're drinking. It comes in 4 great flavors: fruit punch, lemon lime, orange, and grape.
And it's only 110 calories. It's low carb, so get yourself some Game Up. Almabayev versus
Kape.
Yeah, Manuel Kape. Let's talk about this card. There wasn't a lot to talk about, I don't think. But
we'll just talk about the fight of the night that was on the undercard, which I called being the fight of the night. Nasrat Haqparast versus Esteban Ribovics. Ribovics was a fight of the year winner with Daniel Zellhuber last year. Yeah, I think he was a pretty good-sized favorite going into this fight against Haqparast, who is a tough guy. But Nasrat actually won a split decision. Very close fight. I personally had it going Ribovics' way, but I could see, Nasrat did get a takedown at the end of the third, so maybe that secured him that third round. But very close fight, very fun fight. Both guys showing they have good chins. Maybe not so much head movement, but good chins. Very fun fight. Co-main event. I talked a bunch of shit on this one, but it actually was pretty fun. So Cody Brundage versus Julian, the Cuban Missile Crisis Marquez.
Cody Brundage has just had an interesting career to me. He loses fights, and you watch him, and you're like, oh, okay, this guy's probably not long for the UFC. And then he'll get like a slam win in one of his fights, And then this one, I'm watching the fight. I watched this the next day, and I'm watching him get caught. And I'm watching him get pieced up, and I'm like, this dude's out. And to the point, I had gotten the fight spoiled for me. I had read it, and I thought, I must have read this wrong. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, holy shit. And then, you just see him throwing haymakers, and he connects, and he gets the win. And I don't know. It's like the old wrestling loser leaves town match. I keep waiting for him to lose, and they're just going to get rid of him. But he keeps finding a way to win. And good for him. I thought about this for this week. Once do I like to do this with the fights? Usually after pay-per-views, but for this guy, I like to see him fight Eric Anders. Just because I think they would just throw down, and it might be a fun fight, and Brundage might surprise us again.
Yeah, similar fighters in style and probably skill set. That'd be a fun one, but
I think Anders is close. I don't think he's in the top 15 either, but I think he's closer, so I think he would be a good fight for him.
Yeah. This one was fight. I definitely thought when Cody started taking those shots, there's a little bit of a story about him, maybe not having enough heart and trying to look for a way out. Well, he shut that down. I mean, I was saying that last week, kind of with those illegal elbows. He had 1 no contest and won 1 fight by taking illegal elbows in a 3-year span. So I guess maybe he's just really unlucky because he definitely showed a lot of heart. This one, very close to being finished, and he just came back with all the power, landed heavy on Marquez. And unfortunately for Marquez, I think that's 4 losses in a row for him now.
Yes.
So he's probably getting cut, but laid it all on the line. He did everything he could to win because he, like I said, very close to get the finish.
And there was a weird moment too where they both mouthpieces got knocked out at the same time, and they switched it and they stopped it. Who knows?
And then after that, the fight got finished. Yeah, so
those split-second things. And again, weird moments for Cody Brundage, but good for him to at least get the victory out of all this chaos.
Also, let's move on. Main event: Manel Kape versus Asu Almabayev.
Yeah, more eye pokes this week. Another main event, more eye pokes. I just think about Jim Miller. Just take a point away, take some of their purse. In the end, Kape, gets the finish here. Round 3, I believe. Was it round 3 or round 4?
I think it was round 3.
I know they're talking potential title fight for him next, maybe. I think Kaikar France was a fight we were supposed to get at one point.
Right, that was when Kape was trying to.
Yeah.
Is he? Yeah, not when they were going to fight, but Kai was calling him out from the crowd, and they were going back and forth. So then the fight was going to get made, and then Kai got hurt, I think, and it was a whole.
I think just put that fight together. There's a story there. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah, I'm down for that one. Kape again is a very good fighter, annoying person though. Gets the win via eye pokes basically in the Beltran, I believe was the ref. Very good ref. I think he went and looked at the monitor, though, and still said that was a punch. I mean, he got poked. It was a combination where he scraped his eye with his left hand, and then when he threw his right hand, he literally opened his fingers at the end and poked him in the eye.
He was checking with somebody, and they said they were calling it, I'd like to know who he was talking to, because that's when Anik said, she's like, I would have called that a poke, looking at it.
it was clearly an eye poke, and
Yeah.
it was terrible. It's very bad reffing. Like I said, Beltran usually a very good ref. Don't want to get too hard on him. Also, I like Jason Herzog from last week. Don't want to be too hard on him, but it's not necessarily them. They're just the enforcers, but they don't make the rules. But the rules should be what Jim Miller said. They should not be accepted at all. You're told in the locker room, don't poke your opponent in the eye, don't kick him in the groin, don't grab the cage. Like, those are the three things you can't do. Don't knee him while he's down. If you do any of those things, this should be a point. Yeah, especially the eye pokes, because you're compromised from there on out. There was a poke earlier on Almabayev. His eye was bleeding from a poke, so he was already compromised. It's terrible. I'm sick of seeing it. If
I'm with you.
The fights want to be taken seriously as a sport, they need to be enforced properly. So I don't know if the commissions, I don't know what the holdup is, if it's just bureaucracy and it's a slow, trying to turn the cruise ship takes a long time sort of thing. But let's get it sorted out. This is back-to-back weeks where fights are ended by eye pokes. So
Herzog said that, I guess he owned up to the fault too. He said that, he should have probably taken away a point.
But he said that on Cejudo's podcast, right?
Yeah. Hats off to him. Yeah.
Yeah. But also that's a lot of pressure coming at him from Cejudo. He was saying, I have a loss on my record because of you. That's a lot of pressure to put on a ref.
Cejudo gave him props afterwards, but then that was his thing. He said, I appreciate him coming on. Big ups, a lot of guts. At the same time, though, what's going to happen with me now? I don't get a win. At very least, we should have had a no contest, but my opponent's moving forward with a victory. And
it doesn't matter. The apologies and all that doesn't matter, because matchups are made based on wins and losses, and that's a loss on his record. So same with Almabayev, arguably more egregious this one, because he got poked twice in one thing and they looked at it. So I don't know. It's disappointing. I'm very upset about it, as you can see. So
I hope we do something to enforce it. I just really would like to see that, but I hope that the John Jones Tom Aspinall fight is made before that, before John doesn't retire, and then they can make it during the night and day of the fight or something.
Yeah.
You imagine a fight before we should get to UFC 330. Will you imagine a fight where Jones fights Aspinall, he does an eye poke, and immediately, not even taking the point yet, but just a hard warning. Just saying, one more, you're fucking, we're going to take a point away. And I would imagine that would probably screw up something for John.
I don't know. John Jones has been told not to poke people in the eyes, and every fucking fight he's betted, and he still does it. So
they never give even hard warnings, though, with this guy. Not right off the bat.
They just saying, keep your fingers up.
Yeah.
That's what they say. Don't put them forward. Keep them up. Like, how about you just close your fucking hand?
Yeah. I'd love to see a point taken away immediately.
It should be. That's the way it should be. Because if you get poked in the eye, like I was saying, you're compromised for the rest of the fight. It may not be you can't see at all, but it's compromising. Whether you're now worried that the guy's going to poke you in the eye again, and that disrupts your defense, or if you're actually having vision problems, or you get a cut or something like Almabayev had, he got a cut under his eye, and then that's disrupting you. So it's worthy of taking a point, and you'll see people stop doing it, I bet.
I agree.
If you haven't tried Game Up, then you are missing out. Imagine your favorite seltzer and your favorite sports drink had a baby, but it's way better than that. Each can is 110 calories, low carb, 4.9 ABV. It's a nice light drink that is not light on flavor. Game Up comes in fruit punch, orange, lemon, lime, and grape. Pick it up at drinkgameup.com or at your nearest liquor store.